Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Hmm. Chicago, Chicago. What's up, my guy? Good morning. All right. So let's do a little breakdown before the opening. We have about 18 minutes before the market opens. So excuse my voice. I think allergies is kicking in or something. But so on my 15-minute time frame, we can see that price ended up breaching the 4168 area, dropped, retest, and rejected 4168. Now I'm watching to see if price can break below 4158. If price does that, we could see a drop all the way back down to 4122, or even closer would be 4133. The market has been on a crazy, crazy run up on low volume, lower than average volume. So I am expecting at least a decent 20 point or so drop for the beginning of the New York session. Now that may start right at 9:30, or it may start around 11 a.m., which is the London market close. If we do get another retest of 4168, I will start to scale in on a short, and I will start locking in profits once price breaks below 4156, 55. So every 10-point movement to the downside, I'll lock in some profits. But today I am expecting a down movement on the market. So it doesn't matter if you trade NASDAQ, if you trade the Dow Jones, if you trade the Russell 2000 RTY, or if you trade ES or SPY or SPX. Today, based on my strategies, we should see a movement down. And again, on a higher time frame, we've rejected the 4168. Great. Overall, I would love to see a movement back down to 4106. So from where current price is, that's about a 54-point movement to the downside on ES. Now, if you are trading the futures, if you're trading the micro or the mini, start to scale in. If you trade the micro, essentially you could start scaling in here, which actually I'm about to do. Probably just two contracts and leave room to add. Yeah, we're definitely looking at a down day today. The markets went up too long. Like what, over a week straight? Yeah, 7 days straight, no significant pullback. Not coming. And I think we have some kind of economic data coming out this morning too. Um, I'm starting to scale in on ES. All right. So I scaled in one contract on ES. I'm looking to add. I really hope we get a retest of 4168, but we might not. It might create a lower high at 4165, 4164. So anywhere within there, I'm gonna add another contract. I have about a total of 10 contracts that I can add. So yeah, man. I know that's a company that started being bought up because the whole hype on AI, artificial intelligence. So we're going to see a lot of that. We have, yep, AI. Less than 5 minutes for the open. Nice drop pre-market. Looking like a nice gap down. Let me get those trigger fingers ready. Currently up almost a point on the ES short. Up a point now. Let's see. I really think we could get a nice 15 to 10 point drop. Overall, I think 40. I would really like to see it retest 41 and 6, but we'll see. If watch AI on the 15-minute time frame, if AI bounces and it creates a lower high from what you're seeing on the 15-minute chart, that would be a good area to short. I wouldn't necessarily recommend chasing. It's always better to catch either a retest or on a bounce that creates a lower high. So, alright, I was sliding, looking like everything's on cue today. Okay. Yep. We may not even get that retest. I hope we do. Pretty Joe, open. Oh, there goes the dial. Yep, yep. Sliding. Come on. Yep. Dollar sliding. Dollar sliding. Yep, there she goes. Come on. Right, up almost 2 points on that ES short. Dollar sliding. Let's go. Let's go. All right. That's it. Over. Up almost 3 points on that ES short. Yes, we're not getting that retest. Come on, baby. Okay, NASDAQ is the one playing games. Oh, ES is sliding. Let's go. Right out the gate. I couldn't just give us the retest, huh? We're up 4 points on that ES short. Looks like it comes in. Okay. Oh, no divergence. Holla. Okay. Everything's going in the same direction. Let's go. Mm, you were hoping for that retest, huh? It's like, nope. I, mhm. Yeah, I thought the same thing too, but I was like, you know what? I was like, let me just scale in because it's just it had already broken and retested the 4168. So I'm like, yo, plus because like I'm leaving room to add an additional 8 contracts. So I was like, let me just start scaling in here. Even if it retests the 468 and I add, it would bring my cost average up. But I'm like, this thing definitely looks like it could just slide right out the gate. So let me just get in. Uh, I'm tempted to add here. Yeah, yeah. I'm adding a short to Nasdaq, risking about 40 points to make 120 points. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Dazzle. All right, so you're saying the gap was filled on the SPY. Let's see what we have here. All right, so we're doing a little retracement. Let's see what it does. right, I still got my ad at 41.68 on ES. For those of you guys joining, I put in the alert section. I entered a short on ES at 41.61. I'm looking to add at 41.68, but if it starts rejecting, if it pops and rejects around 41.65, anywhere between 41.64 and 41.68, I will add contracts to the short side. My overall take profit for today is going to be 41.22. I would love to see a slide all the way down to 41.06, but with all the buying that we've been having, I'm not sure if we'll get that. But my target prices to the downside are 41.40, 41.33, and then 41.22, and then overall 41.06. We do have economic data being released at 10, so that may be the push that we need for this thing to drop. Ooh, keep going. I want another ad. Five, six. Right, we up, but all right, Nasdaq is sliding. I'm gonna lock in some profits on that Nasdaq short. Oh, there we go. Oh, beautiful slide. We're breaking. We just broke 41.55. Ooh. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, that's how you really feel today. Beautiful. Beautiful. Y'all see this? Oh, what? Sliding, sliding. Up almost 10 points on that short. Currently up 50 points on the Nasdaq short. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. ES short is now 50 is now 10 points in profit. If I had another contract, I could close off one. Now, if any of you guys took short more than one contract, be sure to lock in some profits because again, we do have economic data being released in about, let's see, let me give you the correct time. Thank you very much, T95. Today. So in about 17 minutes, we have Jolt's Jobs openings. All right, so let's see. Thank you very much. So definitely make sure if you're in on the ES short or the SPY or SPX short, be sure to lock in some profits. So on ES, we have dropped 10 points from entry. Didn't quite get the ad that I wanted, but it's all right. I may just lock in this 500 bucks and probably revisit this trade on the Forex side, because on the Forex side, I can actually take smaller positions, and I can choose which positions to exit out of versus when I do the contracts on the future side. With future side, it's first in, first out. So if I add here and then I close off one, it's going to close out the first entry. And then if it pops, then it's like I might be giving back some. So I'm gonna take some profit. I'm gonna lock in this 500 profit on EF short. I'm gonna hope that we get a retest of 41.61 again so I can reshort. So there we go. Let's get it. Beautiful. 10 points on the day. Keep the doctor away. Well, keep the 9 to 5 away. Slide, baby. Slide. Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. All right, guys. So who else took the short besides Chicago? Still going. Okay. No FOMO. No FOMO. Hopefully we get a little spike at the data release for a re-entry. Nope. Nope. You just gonna slide. You just pulling it out. Okay, today we come go. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome, guys. Glad to hear. That's what's up. All right. So for those of you guys that took the trade, we made some profits. Don't be eager to jump in unless we get a nice retest, right? So now in order for us to enter short again, we want to see a little bounce back up into the 4160, 4161 area, which would create a lower high, right? And then we could start scaling in back in there. If we don't get that, we want to see a hourly candle or 15-minute candles closing below the shaded blue area that you see on my screen, which is a supply and demand zone. So if we can get some 15-minute candles or 5-minute candles that close below that, we can then start to scale back into a short. Now, since we've made 10 points on this trade, we do not want to risk the full 10 points. If you want to risk half, it's okay. And this is where I would say, if you do re-enter with a micro. And then once we get confirmation that, okay, we're going to continue to the downside, we can then add the mini, right? Because the mini will pay us $500 for one contract for every 10 points. The micros will pay us $50 for every 10-point movement on ES. So if we start scaling in with the micros, and then once we get confirmation, like, okay, great, this thing is going to drop even further, then we can start hitting it with the minis, catch our 10, 20-point movement, somewhere between 1,000 to 1,500 on the day. Okay, dive into sliding even more. I love it, man. Dow sliding, bro. No divergence today. Everything's just right on cue. Like the charts literally all look the same, man. Days like this, it'd be sweet. We got about 15 minutes left or so before that economic data is released. So I'm hoping we get a little spike to the upside for liquidity and then continue down. But I did lock in that 10 points on that ES short. And now I'm looking for a retest. I'm bummed out. I didn't go in, more than one contract, but it's okay. Nice, easy start to the day. But I also did take it on the Forex side. So please give us a retest. Yeah. Okay. It's fine so far. Yeah, you should have held your short, bro. You should have held your short. But I mean, but I get it. I mean, it's like when we make that decision, like, oh, you know what, I want to try to get a better entry, so I'll close out, and then we run the risk of potentially missing out on a good trade, and you know, it's literally like it'd be a double-edged sword. It's like, what if we did take it and then it ended up spiking and stopping you out? You know what I'm saying? Past your point. So it's always that struggle. Like, okay, do I take it? Do I not? And if you close out the trade and then it goes in your direction, like, okay, I was right, but this time you just switched your thesis where it's like I want to wait for that retest. You didn't get it, and that's why, like, just looking at, like, and just seeing how we broke below what was the low? I think it was at like 5. Hold on. Yeah, so it's basically at 7 in the morning. So the seven a.m. low broke, and we didn't get a third retest of the 4168. So I was like, you know what? 4161, I'll break down my position into like 5 entries. So at least I caught some. And if I wasn't doing something else, I would have re-added when it popped up to like 4162. I was like I should probably add another contract, but I was too stoked because I was looking at another chart. Yeah, what you wanna do? Machine. And I was up for London session too. Like I was on before the London market opened. I caught I caught some nice trades on GU, and GA, and also USD JPY. What a nice one up on that. Doesn't look like it's gonna give me my sell limit. Oh, wow, I was 52 bit short. We waiting for that retro. Mm, yep. I'm scaling back into the Nasdaq short. Just mhm. And why they going after my man Trump? Um, I don't know, Carnage. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kind of see. They kind of, I don't know. I mean, tarnish his name. Well, yeah, because they want to try to tarnish his name so he's, less likely to get in office. But I think that's going to backfire on them. Uh-huh. All right, my good people. So in the meantime, feel free to ask some questions. If you guys have any questions, again, as to why I was short biased on the market from the open, feel free to ask. If you guys have any questions about charting, feel free to ask, especially since we're waiting for this data release. And at this point, I'm going to be very selective as to, where I enter on trades and how many contracts. Yep, yep, yep. I'm not even sure. Mhm. There's a spike, yeah. Mm-hmm. There goes a spike, rejection. Come on. Mhm. Mhm. These spikes, come on. Get with the program and good luck. All right. Oh, there's a spike. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off. Mm. Okay, all right. Good, good, good. Good rejection on the Dow. Mm-hmm.
Well below 10,500,000 that we were expecting, and that is the smallest jolt amount since April of 21. Since April of 21, and there's a negative revision from last month's 10,824 to 10,563. That is a biggie. Rates, I can hear them dropping right now. Stocks moving up on that. That's a biggie. Now let's go to factory orders, shall we? For February, expecting down 0.5%, down 0.7. That's the second worst of the year because the worst is minus 2.1, which is the revision of minus 1.6 for January. If we strip out transportation.
All right, all right. So we did get the retest of 4161. Did anyone re-enter short? If you did, you're up right now. Okay. Ooh, okay, let's go. We got our retest. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Yeah. So much back and forth now to be lower. All right, everyone. I'm not quite liking this price action right now. So if price does come back up to the 41.61, I'm not going to take that entry. We've had two good entries this morning. No need to push it. I will be pretty much sitting on my hands until maybe 1:30, 2 p.m. If we get a pop and we start rejecting below 41.68, I may be inclined to take a short, but from this point on, if I do take a short, it will be with the micros. I don't want to risk too much of the profits made today. Oh, okay, sliding. Okay, Dow. Can ES and Nasdaq follow suit? Like, not possible a little bit. Mm, Yeah, it still has that gap at freaking, I think was it 32, 440 area. But we're probably not gonna head down there until maybe CPI. CPI is probably just gonna bring it down with that. Mm. Like all the mass payments and everything. That's where they decide to play games. Without looking weaker. Meanwhile, Nasdaq and BF still somewhat holding that bounce looking good. Maybe. Yeah, man, that's 88. Yeah. You up. Okay. Less than an hour till the London market closes. ES is definitely looking the best out of all three. And for those of you guys that are new, I definitely recommend sticking to ES or NASDAQ since the moves are not as volatile as the Dow, but the Dow is sliding. All right. ES sliding, NASDAQ sliding. Let's get it. Dow. Yeah. This rejection. Uh, let's go. Keep sliding. Let's go. Yes. Beautiful. How are you? Yeah, buddy. Beautiful slide. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Oh, that was gone. That was gone. I'm locking in some profits on that NASDAQ short. Let's go. ES is still sliding. Woo. There goes my alert. The Dow's broken the lowest level. Ooh. Nope. 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 Come back. Beautiful. Beautiful. Woo. Like I said, man, today was a short day. Today was a short day. Beautiful. Oh, we're gonna hit my second TP of 41.40, and then we might get a little bounce at 41.34, which is the 200 EMA on the 15-minute, and then we should continue all the way to 41.22. Holla at the boy. All right. Mm. Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? Oh, we said I'm locking in some more profits on that Nasdaq short. I still got two runners on the Dow. Yeah, look at that. 4 points away from 41.40. Come on, where y'all at? Y'all see this? Mm, all right. BS came about literally 2 points away from the second take profit. Okay, about baseline. Okay, all right. What are we looking at for the remainder of the day? Nice little bounce on on ES. I'm liking that ES is staying below 41.57. If that remains to be the case, we should still continue to see a more downside movement.
On 5 days being threatened here, industrials, materials, some of these cyclicals have been very weak this morning, particularly in the Dow. Just take a look at the sectors today. So defensive names have been healthcare, consumer staples, energy though, particularly the materials and industrials and the banks have started to weaken once again as well. Take a look at energy. It was a big gainer yesterday. Oil was up today. They have to take profits in some of these oil stocks that had huge runs up yesterday on that OPEC news. I think the big story today is those cyclicals, industrials, materials. Boeing's dropped rather noticeably mid-morning. Caterpillar's notably dropped as well. That's weighing on the down. And material names like Freeport and Mosaic, which had been in an uptrend in the last week to the downside. Banks are again trading at the lower end of the trading range. They had stabilized last week. The regional banks are now again trading towards the very lower end of where they were last week. We're going to keep an eye on that as well. Finally, 5 updates here. And so the sentiment here is remarkably poor, yet the market's in an uptrend. So how do you reconcile that? The point here is the pain trade is to the upside, Saturday. The important thing is we're moving here. Sentiment poor, the pain trade is still higher here at the market overall. Now, up 8% from where we were 2 weeks ago.
So I just took a short on British pound USD. So as the market drops, British pound should continue lower. Like, okay, there. Get it. Okay, beautiful. The dial keep going. Keep going. All right. All right. Let me share my trading view chart so you can see. Yeah, I hope this is the beginning to the down. Yeah, I think ES is definitely going to test the 41, 34, 33 area. So slide down, slide. So seriously, I have no questions. No questions. So one of the reasons why I was short biased on the market was one, we had a massive run up for the last 7 days. And then on ES, we did reject at a supply and demand zone. And the 4168, that's if I'm not mistaken, that's either a daily or a weekly resistance level. Baby, come on. Go back over to 2000. Yeah, the Dow is definitely the weakest one. The Nasdaq is still the only one that is still positive on the day. I am expecting it match the match the Dow and the ES and go negative on the day as well. This line. Okay, we got about 11 minutes till the London market closes. We should see more follow through once the London market closes. ES is now firmly below my supply and demand zone. We're about 2.5 points away from the first TP of 41.40. What makes you think you're so special, man? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Mm. 10 minutes till the London close.
To acceleration of unit growth, but there's all this conversation about using AI and chatbots and technology and even innovation in floor plans in your real estate. I just wonder what you think the more interesting changes are going to be.
You know, Papa John's has always been on the forefront of technology. We were the first brand to offer online ordering for pizza, and now that is ubiquitous with the industry. Over 80% of our orders come across digital channels. We focus on our e-commerce platform. We've built a loyalty platform that has gone in the last 3 years from 12 million members to almost 30 million loyalty members. We collect all of that data to help us make more informed decisions on how we're going to reach our customers, how we're going to serve them the best that we can. So we are all about leaning in on technology. In fact, the majority of our capital investment every year is up against technology platforms to make us more efficient, but also to help us show up better with our customers. So, you know, AI is a part of that. I mean, ordering capabilities that allow us to take orders, all of that stuff is something we're investing in to make us more efficient.
Finally, Rob, what do you say to investors that are wondering about some of the leadership changes over there lately? Jeffrey Smith resigned as chairman of the board. I know he was in there for a few years, making some changes. You also lost your CFO, I believe, earlier this month or last month. What are you telling your franchisees and your investors on that?
We're excited about the opportunities. I mean, I'm the kind of leader that believes that change is an opportunity. Jeff Smith was a great part of this brand. He came in a time when the brand was challenged. He actually hired me and brought me in to help facilitate that turnaround. His departure.
I remember. He had that famous interview with Shaq.
What's up, Seabass? Shoot.
His departure is an indication.
What's your question?
Confidence in the fact that we've turned things around. You know, we've had some great executives that helped us build this company and helped us turn around over the last 3 years. I'm excited about their futures and what they're going on to do, but it's an opportunity for us to bring in new talent with new ideas and build new capabilities that's going to help us to accelerate our growth rate moving forward. So our franchisees, our executive team, we're all here celebrating the success we've had over the last 4 years and putting plans in place that exceed expectations moving forward.
Rob Lynch, thanks for joining us today from Orlando.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. As we look to close out the hour, let's go to Don Chu. We're looking at what is moving.
So we are seeing some relative outperformance in the NASDAQ 100, so the larger cap of the NASDAQ names. That particular index flirting with almost unchanged at this point. So again, relative outperformance. Some of the bigger winners now in the NASDAQ 100, Electronic Arts, Intel, Align Technology, Amgen, Atlassian. You can see they're up about 2%. Check out what's happening here with the NASDAQ 100. You're also seeing Charter, SiriusXM, Lucid, Marvell Technology, some of the bigger players in that NASDAQ 100 trade. By the way, Apple, even out in that one there, doing companies out there, representing also the top team pick.
Okay, so I got you on that. Let me pause this. So the M, so if the M is in front of it, let me show you here. Products. So the M represents the current contract, right? So when you're trading the actual futures contracts, whether it be through TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, Lightspeed, or through NinjaTrade or TradeOvate, the M So the M20 right here. So the M23, this is the current June. So we are trading, we're trading the contract that will expire in June. ESU23 is the contract that will expire in September. Let me let the thing load. And on TradingView, if you're charting on TradingView, it'll have that as well. If you're charting on a forex brokerage, it'll be different. There's no M before or after. And for the instruments that you see an M before the ES, that's the micro. So when you see either ES by itself or /ES, that represents the mini. And then /MES or or just MES represents the micro. The micro pays lesser than the mini. Then it still hasn't loaded. All right, London market has now closed. I'm waiting for my chart to upload so you can see the difference. How that is so like it's a thing if you notice that whatever current contracts is being traded and the next contract that is going to come into the trading aspect, if those contracts, if they have a major difference in price, that means that once the expiration happens and the contracts roll over, you're going to have a gap up or a gap down, which means you will essentially that there's going to be a short or a long to fill that gap. Okay, why isn't this thing loading? Let me just take a picture and post it in here because okay, you see. So you see how the current contract and the next contract that is going to come into play around June that expires. Let's see. So the June 23 contract. So we're looking at almost about a 20, 41. So we're looking at about a 34-point difference in price between the current contract that is trading and the next contract that is going to come into play. The next contract that will come into play is going to be ESU23. So let's say you didn't want to trade the current contracts, you could start trading the next contract. And if you wanted to hedge, that is something that you could also do as well, right? But because there's about a 30-point difference, so that means when this current contract expires and the next contract comes into play, there is going to be a gap up. So initially, when I see gap ups on contract rollovers, I take shorts because that gap is going to get filled within 12 hours to 24-hour time span. Now, if you don't want to trade the actual futures contract, as you can see below, you can also trade the ES futures options. And ES has smashed the first take profit of 41.40. What causes the price difference between the contracts? It's volume. It's volume and what it's projected to be at that time. So no contract starts at the same price point, and you can see that like based on the volume, right? So based on the volume, price may end up getting closer than the 34 point difference because futures contracts don't have. Yes, future contracts do not have a time decay. If you trade future options, then yes, those will have time decay. But when you trade the futures contracts themselves, think of it like this. Whenever you're executing a trade on the futures and you're purchasing or selling a contract, it's like you buying and selling shares of an equity, right? Like in stocks, when you buy shares, there's no time decay. But when you roll over to the option side, right, of those shares, you are now subjected to that time decay, the beta, the delta, and all that other jazz. But with futures, it's the same thing. You can trade futures options on ES, gold, Nasdaq, oil. I believe the Russell 2000. The only one that I know that TD Ameritrade does not allow option trading for is the Dow Jones. But everything else you can. Okay. Holla, holla, oh, this thing is super delayed. Ridiculous. I have been recently researching futures and it seems like it's really good. Yes, futures is really good to trade because there's no PDT, one. The margin requirement, depending on what broker you're using, is substantially less. So if you're trading with like Tradeovate or Ninja Trader, there's what the margin requirement is $500 a day or 100 during the trading hours. So that means if you have a $500 account, $1,000 account, or $5,000 account, you could really grow that account exponentially trading futures. And on top of that, the time availability surpasses that of equities. Futures trading starts Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern all the way to Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Monday through Thursday, every day at 5 p.m. it stops, and then it starts again at 6 p.m. So you can trade either the New York session, which starts at 8:30 to 4 p.m., well, 5 p.m., or you can trade the Asian session, which starts at 7 p.m. all the way to 2 a.m., and then there's the London session, which is from 3 a.m. all the way to 11 a.m. Eastern. So way more time for you to be able to trade. So if you take a trade on whatever, whether it be ES or gold or natural gas or oil, and you make a couple $100 within an hour, 30 minutes, you can lock in that profit without being concerned with being hit with PDT. So just know, once you're participating in the futures market, you are participating in the global market. So there's no PDT, less restrictions. Ooh, let's go. Okay. All right. ES is almost at my second take profit for the day. And furthermore, there are a ton of funding firms out there that you can pay a small fee to get access to their capital. and you can trade futures with on their forex brokerage platform. And some of them even allow you to trade equities like Tesla, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia, Boeing, Bank of America, Microsoft, Netflix, Meta. So you can trade a lot of the blue chip companies' equities on these firms. And again, no PDT. Ooh, yes, this is what we were looking for. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Awesome. Look forward to having you in here. Any questions, let me know. With Ninja Trader, um, you may have to purchase like a license. I prefer Tradovate over Ninja Trader, especially because with Tradovate, if you were to open multiple accounts, they already have an in-house copy trade account. And there are funded firms like Apex Trader Funded, which you're able to pay a small fee, and within 7 days, if you can reach their profit target, or what actually within a 30-day time span, you get access to capital to be able to trade with. But before moving forward with Ninja Trader, definitely check out Tradovate. See what you prefer. So anytime we trade futures, whether it be a day trade, a swing trade, when you purchase one contract of, let's say, ES, you're purchasing like the contract. It's called contracts, right? But it's the same thing as if you purchased shares, because with futures, you also have it that way you can trade options. All right. And when you trade the futures market with a Forex brokerage, the position sizes are called lots, right? So if I taking, let's say, 10 lot position on a forex brokerage, and again, that depends on what they pay. So sometimes a 5 lot might be the equivalent. No, it would be a 50 lot, right? Because a 50 lot every 10 points would be 500. So yeah, so a 50 lot on a forex brokerage would equal one contract of ES on the actual futures platform, right? Where ES, one contract of the mini, will pay $500 for every 10-point movement. And on Forex side, a 50 lot, which is 50.00, will pay $500 for every 10-point movement on ES. And ES is represented as either SPX 500 on the Forex side, or it's either US 500 on the Forex side. Same instrument, just a different wording or physical representation. But ES is the S&P 500 index, right? You have the equity side, which is SPY. You also have the other equity side, which is SPX, right? Most people use that for option trading. And then you have ES. ES is the actual futures from the CME group in Chicago. And then on the Forex side, you have either SPX 500, or you have US 500, or you have US 500 cash. But all these different names, they're one instrument. They're the S&P 500. NASDAQ is NQ, right? Or /NQ. On the, you have the NASDAQ equity version. Then you have the Forex version, which is either NAS 100 or US 100, which represents the NASDAQ. Y'all got that? Check that out. Yes, with forex, some forex brokerages you can trade futures, you can trade equities, you can trade crypto. There are two funding firms that I currently use that I'm able to trade the futures market, which I prefer because the margin is substantially lesser. And I'm also able to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and other cryptocurrencies over the weekend and even throughout the day as well. But I prefer to just trade crypto on the weekend since the futures market is closed. And within these two firms, they both allow me to trade equities, Amazon, Tesla. I can take a screenshot of the platform and show you guys real quick. Okay, let me screenshot this. I have to post it from my phone. Give me a second. Take a look. So if you see, I have Amazon, Apple, Tesla, Netflix, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and then I think that's JP Morgan, natural gas. So these are all instruments that I can trade through the forex brokerage. And I'm using their capital and not my capital. Ooh, yes, yes. Two TPs have been hit. Lovely. Goodness, it's about time. It's about time you did this. Woo. I'm only sad I didn't go heavier. Just wow. Mm, mm, wow. Gone, 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 gone. So, mm, what a day. Beautiful. This is what I'm talking about. So if you guys tune in and you check out the alert section, you'll see these trades were called out before the market opened. TP1 has been smashed. TP2 has been smashed. TP3 is on its way to being smashed. And beyond that, 4106. At 4106, we may see a bounce. Ooh, I hope this is the beginning of the end. Believe me, you, I was getting smoked last week. Yeah, buddy. Whew. What a slide. What a slide. I mean, we're talking what? Almost seven, almost a little over 300 point drop on the Dow. Hmm. Wow. At this point, we are officially done with our trades for the day.
Well, it's kind of interesting if you look at right now. First, we just settled April, came in at $1.99 for the April settlement on NYMEX. And if you look at the first 4 months and then the forward curve for that right now, we're looking at a price of $2.92 for the entire year. And while it seems shockingly low that we're sitting here right now, that compares to, if you look back from 2015 through 22, the price was 327 on average. So we're about 11 or 12% off of that pricing and for the year. And so not extremely low. And the good news is our producers here in the U.S. have proven their ability time after time to be able to rein in costs. But that is a real challenge right now, and probably something that's a bit distinct from prior periods that I think everybody that tries to think about price is keeping an eye on, is the fact that the cost of drilling and completion has come up because we've seen a lot of discipline imposed in the oilfield services group, trying to keep out of the boom bust cycle and not overbuilding that. And that has kept prices about 30% higher than they were in 2021. And obviously that will have some long-term impact on prices.
Well, we'll see if we can hold this two-handle today, Alan. It's been a fascinating quarter, at least. Great to have your input. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much, Carl. Appreciate it.
Alan Armstrong joining us from Williams. By the way, as we approach session lows here, Valero down 7%, Marathon Petroleum down 5%. Interesting reversal in some of these
cyclicals are selling off. It's energy, materials, and industrials also making a big move lower. The Dow's down more than 200 points now, so we've really taken a turn. Caterpillar weighing the most on the Dow. It's down 4.5%. Boeing's right there. Financials are getting hit as well. What's working? Defensives, healthcare, utilities, and communication services up a little. So it feels like we went from a positive read on the job openings coming down to some worries about the economy. Up next, one country pausing interest rate increases after 10 straight hikes to further examine the impact on inflation. Will others follow suit? That story next when we talk about the European close. Plus, we've got an interview, an exclusive, with the CEO of Hertz, the company making a big push into the EV space, predicting nearly 2 million electric vehicle rentals in 2023. Can they meet the demand? We'll be right back, and we'll continue to follow this sell-off here on Wall Street. The S&P is down a little over 0.5%, brings us down 0.2 so far for the week. And again, it's the cyclicals at the bottom of the market. We'll be right back.
give you all an update. So right now I'm posting my ES chart from TradingView, which is SPX 500. Next one is the NASDAQ. So just to give you guys an understanding as to why, how my chart looked and why I was taking shorts on all three instruments. Well, asset classes, I guess.
Only a few minutes left of trading overseas in Europe. Stocks higher as we head toward the close. Euro Stocks 50 actually setting a new high for the year. Been on a tear lately. Results from an ECB survey show consumers are more optimistic on inflation as Eurozone PPI wholesale numbers ticked lower this morning. But the story abroad today we're focusing on is down under. Australia's central bank pausing interest rate increases to assess where they are. It's a big deal because the debate here is, will the Fed follow suit? Because Australia and Canada were leaders, and now they both paused. And the statement from the governor, Philip Lowe, a lot of people would suggest, hey, maybe Powell should say something like that. The decision to hold interest rates steady this month provides the board with more time to assess the state of the economy and the outlook in an environment of considerable uncertainty, and continues to talk about how interest rate increases hit the economy with a lag. So we need to see what those lagged impacts really are. Powell does say things like that, but they're clearly very focused on the inflation story.
Meantime, discussion in Canada about they were trying to avoid a situation where they end up hiking too much and end up doing harm to the economy. So those things, I've seen charts that sort of lay over Bank of Canada moves and then Fed moves, and they match almost always with a short advance.
Right.
Right.
So they do tend to lead. I think the question for the Fed at this point is, are they confident enough that inflation is coming down? Are they as confident as the market, which appears to be much more on the disinflation story? And are they worried enough about the uncertainty right now caused by the banking system issues? Clearly, Powell, he mentioned a lot in the last news conference. We're going to see tighter lending standards. We're going to see an impact on the economy. That's why the market then jumped to cuts. Maybe the market's overdone it, but May now is a toss-up. It's like almost 50-50 of whether they go again.
Yeah, we'll see. That's why some of the jitteriness on both sides in recent days. Let's get a news update this morning with Seema Modi. Hey, Seema.
Hey, Carl, here we go. Here's what's going on at this hour. Finland officially joining NATO today, becoming the 31st member of the world's biggest security alliance. With the addition of the Nordic nation, NATO has now doubled its border with Russia. Finland's membership represents a major change in Europe's security landscape and a strategic and political blow to Russian leader Putin. The SEC is suing the founder and the college financial platform Frank related to the company's sale to JP Morgan in 2021. Former Frank CEO Charlie Genovese is accused of defrauding JPM by misrepresenting the number of users on her platform and creating fake accounts. Frank shut down in January, and the two parties have traded lawsuits alleging misconduct. The Justice Department has also announced criminal charges against Genovese today. Voters are heading to the polls today in Chicago in a runoff election for mayor. Progressive Brandon Johnson has racked up support from Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, while moderate Paul Vallis recently won Democratic Senators Dick Durbin's endorsement and is endorsed by the Chicago Fraternal Order of Police. Outgoing Mayor Lori Lightfoot lost in the first round of voting in March. Sarah and Carl?
All right, Seema, thank you very much. After the break, a rare bearish take on Kafka. We'll look at why Wells Fargo is telling investors to lower their expectations on this one. We want to take a quick look at gold near the highs of the day and near the highest level in more than a year. Gold price is above 2,000 an ounce. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Welcome back. A couple hours into trading, stocks are just off the session lows as we're down 225, holding 4,100. Let's get post to post with Bob Bassani, see what's moving, Bob.
And the JOLTS report had a bit of an impact on the market, particularly cyclical stocks. It was weaker than expected. I've been talking about Caterpillar all for the last 2 weeks. It's had a huge run here. Just take a look. It was 214 to 230 in the last 6 or 7 trade sessions. It opened today at 230. And look at this one, straight down, right from the open, 230. All the way out on 219, particularly after the JOLTS report. Boeing did the same thing. Other cyclicals, here's John Deere. Virtually the same thing actually happened here. So we went, opened at 386, went to 415 last week, and opens at 415 today. Straight down. That's a big move for John Deere. It's a low volatility stock, but straight down from 415, particularly after the JOLTS report. Oil also moved down, but oil had a nice run, went to 82, dropped down to 80 after that. So oil stocks have a great run the last few days, particularly yesterday. There's Chevron down from 155 to about 170 in 5, 6, 7 trading sessions. And you see down today, most of the big oil names also trading down. The other big story of the day is the regional banks, which had been stable last week, but are now starting to trade towards the lower end of the trading range that they saw last week. Here's a good example. All of them are doing the same thing, but there's M&T Bank. M&T was, right around 120 over that, went straight down again here. The lower end, it was 117 to 122 last week. And you see here now below that 117, so all these stocks are starting to trade below that. And And yes, the technicals matter because people watch that. The volumes are particularly high. That tells us, Carl, that demand is not particularly strong, even though the stocks are moving to the downside. So how's the JOLTS report to be interpreted? If you want weight just to signal that they're coming down, it's good. But in terms of signs of potential economic weakness, not good. And I think that's why the cyclicals were weakening. Carl, that's you.
Thanks. We didn't even mention we got the JOLTS, PCE, as we said, ISM yesterday. Factory orders too. Got overlooked. Yeah, the lowest year on year in 2 years.
Weaker than expected. You add it all up, it's a sign of a weakening economy. And the fact that the market couldn't hold a rally on the bad news, which is kind of the mode we were in, weaker economic data, market rally, shows that maybe the market's getting a little too excited that the Fed is going to pivot. We're going to still have a soft landing. Really, we should be thinking about what this deterioration in the economy means for earnings and for growth.
Sound like Mike Wilson